happy to have as our guest Halimede. I said Halimede because that's what Wikipedia said, but apparently it's Halimede. How's it going, guys? Good. Well, let's start with ladies first. Sada, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in music.
I've been playing piano ever since I was really young, so it just kind of came natural to me. I just kind of sat down, with whatever I had and just kind of did. I begged my dad to buy me a piano, and he did on the condition that I took classes. So then I quit 2 years later because you teach any 6-year-old to play classical music, he's not going to go very far usually, unless you're a prodigy, which I was not. So, other than that, I quit for a really long time. I bought a small keyboard when I was 17, so 11 years ago now, and just started playing, and I composed a bunch of classical stuff and decided that I wanted to write lyrics to everything, and so one day just started working on it. I met Dave because I was looking for some way to connect with people on Craigslist, of all things. One of the very few good meetings that I've had on Craigslist. I would not recommend it for very many people, but we met up about a day or two later, and then two days after that, we went to the studio to record with Wade.
Very cool. Now, are you locally from around California, or you grew up elsewhere?
I actually am from Dubai. My mom's from here, my dad's from there, so I was born and raised in Dubai. Uh-huh. I moved here to Long Beach when I was 11, so in 97.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And sitting over to my right, we have Mark.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you're from and how you got started in music.
I'm from a small town in Northern California called Modesto.
I know Modesto well.
And, I fell in love with music listening to it. So I can't remember not being in love with music. But I started playing an instrument in school. Started playing clarinet. I started on the woodwinds in 8th grade, back when they actually had real, children's orchestras and stuff in elementary school. And I built my first stereo when I was 10, and I kind of basically never looked back. That's what I've been doing my whole life, is working in studios and playing music.
Wow. Very cool. Wade.
Huh?
You're up, man.
You heard all that before,
I was born and raised in Long Beach, so right down the street. And I don't know. I always liked guitars, so I started playing guitar. Suddenly I started playing in bands as a bass player, and that's how you end up as a bass player.
Yeah.
I would play bass. I built a recording studio in the 80s. I'm doing it with my friend Steve McNeil, and Mark works with us over there.
Very cool.
That's what we do. That's how we all met. Dave was doing a little jazz record. And got Sarah to play piano on it, and we were like, "Oh, wow, we like her music better."
And Dave, you were selling your wares on Craigslist, huh?
Yeah, well, I was born in L.A., pretty much mostly raised in Rossmore and Long Beach.
Uh-huh.
Then I moved to Newport, and then all through those years, even in at work, I've been putting in bands or get bands together, and most of them failed miserably. The last couple of bands have actually been pretty committed. Everybody's been sticking around. I've dealt with Craigslist, and it's a disaster most of the time. Every once in a while, you run into somebody that sticks around.
Yeah.
But, I started playing guitar when I was like 6 or 7. Couldn't do it. Fingers are too clumsy. Went to bass. My brother was playing bass. He taught me a couple songs, like surf songs from the 60s. And then I go, to hell with that. So I went to drums, and I heard like, I Am the Walrus, Strawberry Fields. I go, I want to play drums of that. So I got one of those. My dad bought me one of those little toy drum kits off the Vegas Strip, and I put sand in the snare just to make it sound like a snare. And then I started putting like bits and pieces of drums, like slinging them in Ludwig's together, and started playing with my neighbors and friends that I met, and played. I was out here for like 10 years in Long Beach. Went to all the schools out here, and basically now, at my age, it's like you play for fun, for salvation, and that's kind of what I've been doing. And then when I was doing an improv jam band garage type thing with some friends of mine, I placed an ad on Craigslist and said, I want to find someone to kind of throw like a monkey wrench into our concept and actually come up with a song. And funny thing was, 3 women responded to the ad. One of them wanted everything in my blood type, and I just wrote her off. I go, it's not going to happen. Okay. And then Sarah was the second one.
And of course, I just was like, meet me at some warehouse. Okay.
Well, we met at a Denny's.
Oh my gosh!
And
I'm surprised I'd read about you on the front page.
Probably at some point.
I had been recording with Wado since like 2005 with another project. It's been like about 5 CDs.
Yeah.
Actually 5 CDs. Some of them EPs. And these guys eventually joined ranks because you always have band member problems. There's always drama somewhere down.
It's usually the drummer we're told.
That's what we're always hearing, man.
Hey, Bum,
Weird.
could you move that camera back so we can get him in there? He's
Yeah, the young
Phased
drummers are the ones who are party animals. We all were. Okay, so, but funny thing was, I had some problems with guitar and bass players. So, and these guys,
The
he was the
drummers always
engineer. Mark expressed interest in laying down some solos. Go, let's do it. Let's go for it. And then they joined ranks.
Help
And here we
drum.
are.
Good.
Yeah, it worked right out.
Yeah.
Well, and now you guys met and you went over there and kind of. When did you guys decide to kind of come together as a group?
We were actually midway through recording our CD, and our guitar player and bass player at the time had kind of both dropped out. And so Dave and I just figured we'd just kind of record the whole thing, piano and drums,
Finish
and
it up.
figure out the rest once we were done with that. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we were going to start doing it anyway. We had a couple people who came in to contribute, violinist, clarinet player, saxophone, pedal steel,
Violin.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
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 And then we had another bass player come in, and Wade really liked the stuff too, and so we were trying to kind of get him to do it, and then finally one day he just said, all right, I'll sit down and learn the songs. So he did, and then Mark wanted to join, and he said, why not come on board, we need a good guitar. And so we figured it just worked out so well, and they really liked the stuff that it was like, let's start practicing collectively as a group and go out and perform as a unit instead of just having people on just the CD as contributing artists. So.
Wow. Hang on just a second. Where are we at here, Peter? Do we need to move?
In this configuration, it's not going to work. I think we have to
We
put it
put it
all
over
the way
there?
over there.
Let's take a quick break and do that.
Okay.
We want everybody to be in the screen here. You listen to Swoop's Run on Talk Story Radio Network. We're going to take another quick break. Listen to another one from Halimede. This is called No One Around, and we'll be back after this.
She said she's okay now, she knows what to do. She said it's been years now and it's not too soon. Are you prepared now for what we're asking of you? Will you be strong somehow, or will you have to choose? Might be harder to find your face. 5 years running, you're in a better place. Is it safe to say she won't break down today? Will we pretend we've had much better days? Light grows dim, can you hear the sound of having no one around? Of having no one around. Light grows dim, can you hear the sound of having no one around? days passing by. Be okay, yes, we'll be okay, but we'll have to lie down with all hope inside, thinking we'll find the strength you've left behind.
Did you know that birthday parties help build confidence in kids?
Yeah. Did you know that giving kids less sugar before bedtime helps them sleep better?
Oh, totally. Did you know that friendly kids have more friends?
Everybody knows that.
Hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
I didn't know that.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Oh! You are round MVP.
Yeah, man. Yo, Drew, I finally got round MVP. Round MVP.
No way. That was some ownage.
Finally earning round MVP takes determination. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Visit knowhowtogo.org to learn what you should be doing right now to prepare for college. Start taking the steps at knowhowtogo.org. Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Talk Story Radio.
Hi, I'm Angela Madsen, and I row across oceans, and I've really enjoyed being a guest here at Swoop's World. Thanks for having me.
And welcome back to Swoop World on Talk Story Radio Network. Gonna get the camera angles a little changed. Got everybody in there, huh, Pete?
Yes.
We're looking good?
More or less.
Our guest is Halimede, and we're just in here and enjoying it. When you guys got together and decided you're going to play as a group and stuff, you had already written a lot of songs. Are you doing most of the writing, and is that how that works?
They've been gracious enough to let me. That's usually how it works. I'm a very solitary writer, and it's very hard for me to kind of, not that I don't necessarily want to, but kind of bridge my mind around somebody else's idea. And it's something that I do need to work on. But the way it's worked thus far is I had the majority of all these songs already written, especially by the time Mark and Wade came into the project and stuff, as we were already through a recording process. But I come up with the songs, I sit down and I write some, then I bring them to practice, and we all just kind of work on them a little bit, see what we like. Some they like, some they don't like. And we just kind of pick through the ones we like the most collectively, and I guess that's what we kind of focus on then, just kind of try and wing it and try to have everybody it's about, and we try to work together as much as possible.
Yeah. Now, you two have worked together in several projects. Yes. Because you guys already had had a little vibe going on. How was it like bringing other people in?
Well, the CD was my main approach was to do conceptual. In the studio, you can do anything you want if you got some cash. If you do live, especially with resources,
it's over here. Yeah, that's right.
To try and get all those people together and play. They all want, like money on stage, and even our sax player, who I wish he'd come in and do a few shows with us. Forget it. He's he even forgot my phone number. So but it was just to bring in different instruments and create a different vibe for every song. So it would be like harkening back to go back as far as Sgt. Pepper's. Or some of the other projects where people went in and strictly did a studio album, and they wanted to make instruments do the talking. So you pull different things, because we had a violin and we had a pedal steel player. We had upright bass. Our original guitar player played 12-string acoustic, so they all brought different vibes into each song. But as a band, the quartet always works. People show up. There's no drama. Okay, the three of us are all the same age. Okay, we're seasoned.
I thought you were pointing at me for a minute. I was like,
She's like, what are you talking about?
We support. We fully support and appreciate original music. And that's the thing. It's like 90% of what's out there is all cover music. They're doing tribute bands, and it's kind of a hard sell out here in Southern California nowadays. But to find musicians to collectively get together like you did back in the day, to get together in a band and play and stick together is really difficult to do because most people just don't put the time into it. They want money. They want instant money. I'll show up, give me the charts, and I'll show up and play and pay me.
Yeah.
And that's not a band. But and the thing is, it's just the instruments that we use. Was just something that I heard, kind of like, let's try this behind her music, and that's what we did. That's basically what we did, because we used a great violinist from LA, and she was based out of India, but she'd been living in California for a long time, and she's difficult to get a hold of, because she's all over the place, and she wouldn't even show up. She showed up once from my other band to play live, and then I never heard from her again. So, it's like,
maybe it's a personality thing. These people
But hell, you pay them and they shut up. That's the way it is. So but that's kind of what the CD is based on. It's based on every song is individually a kind of a conceptual piece.
Yeah.
And Mark did an amazing job on just kind of like absorbing what was on the CD and kind of adapting guitar style, and then Wado's solid pocket. He's in the Stones band.
I'm one of those. You got to pay me a bunch of money to play.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's seasoned players too that make it that really bring it together too.
Yeah.
Because you got to support the lead. And Sada's the lead.
What sort of venues are you guys playing? Live types of. Are you doing
little clubs and stuff.
And
did a coffee house. That was kind of cool.
You guys were at Viento not too long ago, right?
That was nice.
It's called Good Hurt, which was cool.
They actually played with somebody else. They were with Self a City Sweetheart.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh cool.
Yeah.
We're doing Deep Piazzas on December 18th, I guess.
Yeah, you forgot the date already.
Yeah,
the 18th. It's trivia night, which is kind of cool. They play trivia.
They fill up, yeah.
Yeah, it's
people
like a pretty fun little deal.
Yeah.
Going right in the college dorms too, man. You're all over Long Beach State right there.
Yeah.
It's a good.
It's usually a good vibe in there. You guys will probably enjoy it, I would think.
And we played Deep Piazzas a few times.
Okay.
We played, I think, maybe 3 or 4 times, and it's a nice place to play, I think, for me personally, because a lot of my friends do live in the Long Beach area, or just maybe 15, 20 minutes out of it, and so it's really accessible to everybody. Instead of, you can't ask your friends to come out on a Wednesday or Thursday night, all the way out to LA. So it's kind of.
Well, you can't. That's exactly not likely to get a
response. That's why you think about it, right?
Well, one of the questions that we end up talking a lot of bands about, and specifically, when you're trying to book gigs and things like that, and you're not doing covers and you're not doing certain things that are really recognizable to people.
Right.
How hard is it to get gigs, and how hard is it to get your music in front of the people so they'll let you come play?
I think we've had it actually pretty easy so far. I mean, we don't play as much as we would, I think, like to play, just because our schedules are hectic and all 4 of us put together.
We all work for a living too,
Yeah, I guess it's kind of hard. But I mean, I think we've been pretty lucky. We haven't had too much of a problem.
In the beginning, you get a mishmash of like, okay, what do you guys sound like? I got a slot open for you, and you play, and it's like there's a mixed crowd, there's a mixed reaction. Yeah. And Orange County is really weak right now. That's kind of where I'm based out of. I'm the only one actually who still lives in Orange County, but I've been playing clubs there for years, and you get to this point where they expect you, and everywhere else too, for that matter, they want you to bring a crowd.
Right.
What do you sound like? Where do you fit in? And obviously, no, we're not doing a punk show. We're not doing a metal show.
Well, I think that's one of the things that's helped us, though, is
it's
playing more towards Long Beach, more in LA,
indie, right.
Yeah.
And then pairing up with bands, with friends of ours who also have bands that are not necessarily similar, but similar in that they're playing original music at least,
right.
And it's just that mutual, camaraderie and that mutual love for each other kind of a thing.
And that's what we're doing on the 18th. We have my friend in the studio, Steve McNeil's band's going to play with us, and then our other friend,
The Letters Home.
the Letters Home, are going to play with us. So it's
Yeah.
going to be like, we do a back line, so it just kind of flows nicely.
Yeah.
And,
Maybe that's why it's so easy, because we just have them do all the work. Just gotta swoop in on their shows.
Yeah. We're here. Did you say we had a gig tonight? Well, you guys going to play something live for us, huh?
Yeah. We are going to play the first song on our CD, and it's called Sincere Lust.
Great. Listen to the Swoop on the Talk Story Radio Network. We're here with Halimede. And this is live in studio.
Live in studio with Mark putting his guitar on.
You said you wanted me to stay.
Good?
We'll leave them there.
All right.
Cool.
How long have you been writing songs?
I've been writing instrumental stuff since I've been playing since I was 6. I would sit there and my piano teacher would be so upset with me. I'd learn how to play all sorts of songs all by ear, and I'm like, check it out. And then he'd ask me to play the one simplest song he taught me how to play, and it was just awful, you know. But I've always enjoyed composing very, very much. The lyrics kind of came afterwards. I was never really a big poetry fan or anything. For some reason, it just kind of seemed a little, I don't know, too cheesy. All my poetry just didn't sound right. But somehow once I, kind of mixed it with the more like melodic stuff and with the music, it seemed to kind of fit in a lot better.
Yeah.
So I remember trying to learn how to play a song on the piano and sing it at the same time was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to learn, and it's still hard when I'm writing new songs to get my fingers to do one thing and my voice to do something else. But I enjoy it. I enjoy it too much to let it, kind of get me down when it's hard.
Yeah.
So.
Very cool. Now, what kind of inspires you lyric-wise?
The majority of my stuff is autobiographical. I try to be really cryptic with it because I feel, I don't know, it's kind of like when you read your journal to a bunch of people who, number one, don't care, because they're strangers, and so I had a problem with that when I first started performing live because I was trying to sing really, really low just so that if I said something, people couldn't really hear me and have a judgment on it. And then I really, they would always yell at me to, be louder and, if you're here, be here kind of a thing, So it's definitely something I've had to learn how to do, and I'm still learning, and I'm still kind of getting used to it. But I write mostly autobiographical stuff, and sometimes I put it into kind of like more of a narrative, but mostly autobiographical. Other than that, sometimes it's about other people.
Now, Mark, when somebody brings a song to you, what's your process for magic on the guitar?
Well, it used to be I drink a fifth of brandy, grab a sniff. With this stuff, Dave had projects that he was doing. We all been working out of a studio called Mambo Sound Recording, and Dave would bring in these projects, and he brought in Sada to play keyboard on one of them, and that's how this whole thing came about. That we're all going, well, we all liked her stuff. Wada was the guy who was engineering all of this stuff, and I'm the technical engineer there, so I'm the one who's like drifting in and out of the room when, basically when stuff breaks, So I was listening to all of this stuff go down as they were recording it with all these various different musicians, and at some point or another, I guess they talked Wada into playing bass.
Well, we had a gig at the Cantors.
Right.
Looking for a couple, that's what it was. We had charted all the songs, and we're all sitting there going.
Yeah, playing over the music stand in front of me, and then Wado came up to me and said, "Okay, we're gonna rehearse tomorrow. Here's the CD of the song. We're gonna rehearse tomorrow night, and we got a gig the next night." It's like, okay, sure, why not? But so I kind of just sort of. I tried to assimilate it by osmosis, for lack of a better term. And what I do is I find that I play this stuff in my head because I hear it, going in and out of the rooms, and the next thing I know, I'm humming a guitar part to it or something like that, and I realize I've written the guitar part.
Right. Very cool. Very cool. You have to the drums and the bass have to carry a lot themselves too. So what do you when somebody brings something to you, like a project to you? How do you work through that? Or do you just take over? This is the way it's going to sound.
With the exception of this band. This one, believe it or not, drummers, I don't know. I'm a sucker for piano, and I listen to piano melody, and I will rebound off certain notes. And of course, we're supposed to do that with bass players too, because all the successful bass and drummer, the rhythm sections do that. And they lock in on the pocket. But a lot of my other projects, because this is a rare exception, the music kind of was somewhat arranged, but we had played together a couple times. This is a duet, just kind of messing around. Yeah. And my other projects were almost all written in the room when someone had a riff or something. And then we bounced off the walls with one another. And then we had a powerhouse trio, like guitar, bass, and drums. We'd kind of throw things around, and then someone would break into a rhythm, and we'd follow it. And then songs would derive from that. And that's kind of what was going on. And my other band does the same thing, because drummers are not perceived as songwriters. Most of them are not. But what I do is, a lot of times when I've been improvising for so long, I'll push people's buttons and rhythmically go somewhere and see who follows and see what happens. So everybody reacts. And if you're seasoned, you have the chops, you react to that. And you kind of follow one another, or you get polyrhythmic, where everybody's kind of just they're talking, they're expressing themselves through their music.
Right.
So piano is strictly all notes, a lot of chords, but pianos have a sense of rhythm. And I listen to a lot of jazz and rock and fusion, even metal. But a lot of metal is soulless. It's just all notes. Just spellbinding speed. And there's no heart in that. Technically speaking, You know, the old school kind of stuff. What other people listen to nowadays is they want to hear a vocal rap to just a beat and a melody in the vocals. They don't care about the music anymore.
Right.
You know, and that's the downfall of today's music. It's not about instrumentation anymore. So that's kind of how I approach it. I play different styles of music, and I even play djembe, and in fact, Sincere Lest has djembe in it. I like percussion, and I used to support a lot of folk artists by doing just handheld percussion. So that's kind of what I do, but I figure if you get someone in there who's got chops and they've been playing a while, they hear melodies in their head, you know, and they listen to the music long enough and they come up with a solo. And it's good to spotlight everybody too, not just one individual, but it kind of paints a color around the music, you know, regardless of who wrote the song. Of course, she could go out and do her own thing solo. She's got all the support. When you get to be our age, it's a little bit more difficult. You know, my friends, I used to invite my friends to all the shows, and they like, oh yeah, sure, I'll show up, and they don't show up.
They're sleeping.
So I screw you, you know. But I love supporting older, younger people who are ambitious enough to write their own music, rather than going on American Idol and singing a song that's been sung 1,000 times. You know, because you look at all the people who have been on American Idol. Do they write? No. They don't have a clue how to write a song. And that's what needs to be educated to people, is to compose your own music. And there's a lot of young people who do compose their own music.
Oh, absolutely. We've had
but they're not getting the recognition that they should. You know, so that's the thing, because when I was 25, 26, I was playing what is now called classic rock. You know, we were doing everything that, you know, right now is in the music books as history music.
Right.
You know, we were playing Zeppelin, Beatles, and Stones, and Who back in the 70s. And, you know, we used to do Live at Leeds by the Who almost in its entirety as a garage band. And we'd play all the parties in Long Beach and do all that stuff. And I said, why don't we write our own stuff? But nobody was writing, you know? So it's difficult, you know, and, you know, your chances of getting out there, and you know, you need to support and endorse and completely be behind somebody who has an original idea right now, because the market is catered for young songwriters. They don't care how young you are too. They really don't care. If you write a great song, you're in the pocket.
Oh, yeah,
by the time you hit 30 and you're a rock drummer, forget it. It's not going to happen, let alone 55. You know, it's not going to happen. But that's kind of the way I approached it, and I thought some unique instruments were behind her music, and I kind of heard something in my head, and I said, let's bring it in and try it out. And only one of them didn't work, and that was the dulcimer, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the dulcimer did not work.
Never worked.
That was the only instrument that didn't actually.
Well, it was also recorded on the wrong version of the song or something. That was easy to scrap it that way.
But this music, violin and cello, would be just phenomenal to find somebody to support us, you know, in a live setting. That would be amazing. But Mark pulls some of the chops of the violin solos. I thought that was really cool, and that helped. Because you're better off touring and gigging that way, because we show up.
Right.
That's the most important thing. You don't want to go to a live show half crocked. It's not going to happen, and something's going to fall apart. He didn't show up on our first gig.
Well, I was just
But he was working. He had a good excuse.
Wade, how do you approach these things?
What he said, no.
Yeah. He said a lot.
I don't even know. Well, Sada, I listen to the piano and try to figure out where I can play in and around her chords. I have a little CD of just her playing the songs on piano.
Yeah.
I listen to that and figure out where I can fit in around the piano, try to make it, you know, just an amp piano. I figure we're just gonna.
What's it like playing with all these old guys?
It's actually fun. It's funny because it's really comforting. It really is, you know, because they're all, you know, so different, you know, and they're all so great. And the one thing that they all do have in common is, you know, they constantly remind me that, you know, that they're behind me, and that, you know, we're here for you, don't worry, it'll be okay, do you need anything, you know.
We love you.
So, and I love them very much, and I feel very, very blessed, and it's, they're always, and I always get the question of well, what about the age gap? What about the age gap? I'm like, I don't really notice, because they'll start talking, and then we'll start talking, or we'll start talking. Everybody's entertaining each other, and then we go outside for a little break or something, and it's like, oh, remember in 77, and I'm like, no, I really don't.
It's all blur to me.
Yeah, maybe somewhere in the ether out there, but it is fun. It is a lot of fun.
Cool. We're going to take a quick break and come on back and touch on some other things. You listen to Swoop Show on the Talk Radio Network. Our guest is Halimede. We want to know how they come up with that name. Somebody must be what do you call it? Astrology buff.
Astronomy.
No.
Astronomy.
Nymph goddess.
Yeah. Astronomy, astrology.
Same
Tomatoes.
Exactly.
500 years ago.
Let's see. This is wasting away. We'll be back after this.
Out the door. As it stands, we're both without a man.
Let me try.
Okay, just remember what I showed you.
Yep. There was a bunny who had one big ear and another big ear. They looped-a-looped, made a bow, and the bunny hopped away. I did it!
Oh, good job, kiddo. Now let's tie your other shoe.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Thanks for asking, but I'd rather not send you nude pictures. I'm camera shy. I already said no. Under my clothes, I'm a robot. My webcam is broken. I'm worried they'll get passed around school. I have a rash. I have nudophobia. I have lizard skin. I'm a vampire, so I don't show up in pictures anyways. Your badgering has really killed the mood.
When someone is pressuring you to do something you don't want to, how many ways can you say no before they get the message? Let us know at that'snotcool.com. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Imagine no longer being tied down to your computer, but having the freedom to take live talk radio with you anywhere you go. TalkStream Live introduces our first ever iPhone application. The talk shows you follow now follow you, and your iPhone is now the fastest and easiest way to stay connected to the best talk radio on the internet. Let TalkStream Live transform the way you listen to radio. Listen to live talk shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Mobile talk radio from TalkStream Live. Now available in the iTunes App Store.
The views and opinions expressed by the individual hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Talk Story Radio, its affiliates, or sponsors.
Hello, this is James Ede from the Dub Rock Duo. Just wanted to let you know that you're listening to Swoop's World.
Some people talk, some don't know what to say. Everybody's waiting for a better day, a better day.
There we go.
Very, very cool, man. Very cool. Now, who came up with the name?
That would be Dave.
Dave.
Where did that name came from?
We started talking about a couple of names when we first started getting together, and we kind of were getting things a little bit more solid, and it was him and I and two other members, our prior members. And, I mean, some of the things that were being floated around were just, I don't know, you know, and I came up with a couple things. We just kind of like benched it for a little while because I figured, well, let's all play the songs first and learn them before we, focus on the name. And then Dave came up with it, and we kind of just went, what? So I asked him what it meant, and it was some, I guess it's like a retroactive satellite or something around Neptune that has one of the most eccentric orbits, but also that was like a Greek nymph.
Yeah.
So I guess it works both ways.
But they're all under Greek gods or nymphs.
I'll get him started on
Yeah. They're all, all the new moons and stars are named after some Greek god or goddess. That's what they do. So I was looking at the new names, and that one rang a bell.
It just fit, huh?
Yeah.
Fit like a glove. Well, we try to cover a lot of stuff here and everything, but is there anything you guys want to talk about that we haven't yet talked about? I know we haven't talked about a lot of your, we mentioned one gig, but your websites and stuff like that, but anything there?
Scott knows all this information.
Yeah. I'm the proprietor of all the information. We can.
Emails,
They just get the post-its.
Otherwise known as directed.
You can find us on. We have a personal Facebook page, so it's facebook.com/Halimede and then the number 4. And we also have a Sonic Bids page, so it's sonicbids.com/Halimede, and that's where we have an EPK. We have a couple songs where you can listen to bio, all that sort of stuff, and we try to update everything simultaneously. So all the same information is going to be on all the pages. So if you want to see like kind of an EPK and things, a little bit more set up, check out the Sonic Bids. We're also on iTunes. Our debut album is called Care of a Conscience, /O Conscience. And then we also have a Bandcamp, so it's Halimede.com or Halimede.bandcamp.com, and you can hear the whole album and preview the whole album at Bandcamp.
Very cool. Now, somebody put in chat room, and I'm going to just verify, is the CD available at Fingerprints?
It is available at Fingerprints. It was on a consignment basis, but I haven't heard back, so it's probably still on the shelf. So run out and get it. It was at Amoeba. I know they sold out there, but they didn't call me back either. So I know they're busy over there, so I'll have to call them up. But yes, it is available at Fingerprints in Long Beach off of 4th.
Yeah. 420 actually.
Yeah, I know, right? Ironically, I always remember when I see that,
No, it's Amoeba. That's on Sunset, or is there another one close? Or is that the one on Sunset? Okay, very cool, very cool. Well, it's great having you guys here, and I appreciate you reaching out. And
thank you very much for having us.
It's been a good time. And,
cool deal.
Now you have the gig at D Piazza's on the
18th.
18th.
Trivia night.
It's trivia night, so we'll be on
Mark
after
just
trivia
texted
night.
me and said he's coming to town that night.
Very nice.
Any other gigs coming up after that? After the holidays or anything? Or?
We constantly kind of build on it. We get one, and then we kind of get in the mood, so we steamroll through, trying to get a bunch of them.
I like the coffee houses. I think I might lean towards a couple coffee house gigs. Those
we might go back to Viento Iago. We're trying to play as often as we possibly can. Yeah. So we'll be updating all of the pages and find all the information.
And we have a couple new songs we're going to record, right?
Oh yeah, we're gonna work on a couple new songs. So we're trying to have a new song ready to go by the D Piazza gig. So
that's the plan.
Excellent.
Good song.
Now, is there a way for people to get on like an email list or so they can be updated, or is it the Facebook? Facebook.
You can go through Facebook. You can. If you go to Bandcamp, I know there's a contact link, and it'll come right to my email. So if you want to do that, I will, I guess, work on a newsletter of some sort. Not that I didn't have enough to do, but there's one more thing, just in case.
That's what we're here for. We're here to give you more to do. One guy said his goal was to.
His goal, he wrote lots of music, but he didn't write lots of songs to go with the music. So he said it takes forever. So we gave him a goal. We said, and I think it was here like in November of last year. And we said, all right, well, we're going to have you back in studio in January, and we expect 5 new songs.
Yeah, one a month.
One a week, one a month,
Yeah,
whatever it was.
something like
And he just looked at us like we were nuts. But then he did it.
Nice.
And we had him back, and he played some of those songs. So
I have
email
plans
us.
this weekend,
Email
apparently.
us.
I have weekend plans now. It's set stone.
Well, we want to thank you for coming in and playing live for us. This is we have a few treats here. One is a beer sponsor, and the other is a great music played right here in our humble studio. So we always appreciate that. We want to thank you all for stopping by.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. You listen to Swoops on the Talk Story Radio Network. Our guest was Halimede. Definitely check them out. Bandcamp, Facebook. You can pick up the actual CD at Fingerprints, 424th Street, and as well as Amoeba on Sunset. I think that's next to the Cinerama Dome.
Hit us up.
Yeah, so definitely check them out. Or personally hit them up. And if you check back in a week or so, because Sada's going to have an email that you can sign up for.
There you go.
I'm on it.
It's 9 o'clock, so we'll be back after this break, and it'll be time for Brewskis. And T-Bone's back in the house, so we're going to be covering some sports.